China Economy Talk, Episode 1, Deflation. China, once hailed as the world's factory, has experienced remarkable economic growth over the past few decades, largely fueled by its manufacturing and low-cost advantage. However, beneath the surface of China's economic success lies a silent menace: cost deflation. Now, while this phenomenon might appear beneficial at first glance, it poses significant challenges for the nation's long-term economic stability and growth of prospects. In this video, we explore the intricacies of China's cost deflation and its adverse effects on China's economy. But first, you have to understand cost deflation. You have to understand how it works, why it happens, and how can it affect things. In much of the world, currently, countries are battling inflation. Here in America, Europe, inflation is pretty much all over the world right now, except for China. This would lead many to believe that deflation is a good thing, but that isn't always true. On the surface, cost deflation may seem advantageous as it enhances competitiveness and can lead to lower consumer prices. As an example, the cost of pork has fallen nearly 40% in China. However, its impact on China's economic landscape is multifaceted and far from being uniformly positive. I'm going to explain some of the issues China is facing now, where it will end up, if this continues, of course. And I'll also be giving my opinion of where I think this will actually land in the beginning. And I think I have a pretty good guess. But of course, there is the paradox of cost deflation. You have to understand manufacturing. Of course, it's China. China's manufacturing sector has been the backbone of its economic growth for years. However, cost deflation has led to a drop in profitability for many manufacturers. As the cost of raw materials and labor decreases, so does the price of goods. While, again, this may initially attract consumers, it can also erode profit margins for businesses. Consequently, companies may struggle to invest in research, development, and innovation, hampering their ability to move up in the value chain. Eventually, this leads to companies laying people off, of massive amounts of unemployment, and companies failing to be able to pay their workers. But I'll talk a little bit more about that in the future here. The other thing to consider is debt, overcapacity, and things like that. Cost deflation can create a cycle of overcapacity in industries, leading to excessive production levels and surplus of inventories. Imagine having a lot of stuff that you can't sell. Why would this happen? This happens as consumers see the cost going down. They will, of course, wait, thinking that it will continue to go down forever. In response, companies may resort to cutting prices further and further to reduce stockpiles, exacerbating the deflationary pressures. But some companies might take on more debt to stay afloat during tough times, which could potentially lead to a rise in non-performing loans and financial instability. And I do think that this will continue, as this is what we already see happening in China right now. Of course, this can impact on wage growth and things like that directly. Wage growth is another casualty of cost deflation. As businesses face lower production costs, they may be less inclined to raise wages for their workers. This stagnation in wage growth could lead to decreased consumer spending power, further dampening domestic demand and economic growth. But there's also some things that happen in hand here, specifically because of China, because of who they are and what they represent. And that, of course, are the demographic challenges. The demographic landscape in China presents its own set of challenges. Like I said, they're a little different than the rest of the world. The country's grappling with an aging population, which translates to a shrinking labor force. Cost deflation might intensify this issue as lower wages and reduced job opportunities discourage young people from joining the workforce or incentivize migration to urban areas. We already see this happening in China also. People in the rural areas, of course, move to Beijing, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, these tier 1 cities. The global implications, of course, are also insane. This doesn't just affect China, this can affect the entire world. China's cost deflation is not only a domestic concern, but also has a significant global ramifications as the world's largest exporter. China's ability to produce and export goods at lower costs can lead to disruptions in international markets. Competing with Chinese products becomes increasingly challenging for other countries and manufacturers. leading to potential job losses in other parts of the world. I don't see this being so much an issue here in America, as we're kind of a technology-based country. But countries where they largely depend on manufacturing will struggle. Moreover, China's cost deflation may give rise to protectionist sentiments in other nations, leading to trade disputes and tensions. This in turn could escalate into a full-blown trade war, as witnessed in recent years with profound consequences for the global economy. So how do we address this? How do we make changes? What can China do to fix this problem? Well, I don't know. But let me be honest. Some of the things that other countries could do would be China would have to focus on transitioning its economy from labor-intensive manufacturing to a more innovative and service-oriented model. This shift would involve, investing in research and development, encouraging entrepreneurship and technological advancements, and supporting the growth of high-value industries, emphasizing domestic consumption, and of course, nurturing a strong middle class that would also help offset the impact of slowing exports and foster sustainable economic growth. But do I think that will happen? Let me be honest here. In conclusion, China's most cost deflation problem here is definitely an issue. It presents a complex set of challenges that threaten the nation's long-standing economic success. We have to be honest. China has grown a little bit over the past 25 years, but will it continue? The immediate benefits, of course, lowering production costs might seem appealing, like I said, but their far-reaching consequences on China's manufacturing sector, wage growth, debt levels, and global trade dynamics, they demand urgent attention. In my opinion, China will continue down the path of recession, as changing from a large production-based economy to a more innovative service-oriented model is extremely difficult, especially when you consider China's size and, most importantly, its politics. I don't see them tearing down all those manufacturing companies overnight and setting up shop tomorrow. The Chinese government will not allow open and free markets to fully thrive without government intervention. I also believe this will be difficult, as China's previous technological advancements happened largely through forced technology transfer. Recently, countries have become more aware of this and have become more protective of their technological advancements more than ever. We have recently seen this with America protecting its microchip technology from China, and of course Europe followed suit. So in my opinion, will China recover fully and actually come back to its previous GDP growth rates? I'm going to say no. In my opinion, the next 25 years for China are not going to be as prosperous as the last 25. I think China will continue down the path of recession, not just because of technology and deflation, but also because of their other economic woes, of course, real estate and these types of things. But that, of course, is my opinion. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. And of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and of course, come back and watch another video. Have a good day.